Warning, this podcast contains Yogway. Why?
Why?
Yogway why?
It's a puppy.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for Once Upon a Time, Season 2, Rewind. Episode 10 and 11, The Cricket Game and The Outsider. I'm your host, Dom. With me, we have Jake, Nikki, and Rachel.
I'm back.
Welcome back. How's it going, guys?
Tired.
Tired?
Tired.
Why are you tired?
4 days of camping. Tired.
That would do it. So, alright, out of the two... hold on. Forewarning, as usual. Do not continue watching if you are not caught up all the way through Season 6. All the way to the end of Season 6 of Once Upon a Time, because we will be spoiling things that have yet to come if you're just watching at Season 2. So, if you're new to the show, turn away, leave. This is the rewind. We're looking back at it after the fact. So, yes. Anyway, out of the two... which one was your favorite?
Well,
it's hard. I like different parts of each one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's hard to pick up because they're kind of like they're equal, but they both have their equal high and low points. It's really hard to choose between the two of them.
And they go together kind of so well that it's hard to differentiate the two.
It was really difficult. Like if there wasn't like a title screen in front of The Outsider, I would have thought it was one whole episode.
Yeah,
it flowed really well.
Yeah,
yes,
no, they did flow really well, but I personally think the second episode was the better of the two.
The Outsider.
Yeah. What do you think, Yagway?
Every time I hear that word Yahweh, it reminds me of like a religious thing.
See, now the whole thing is in the episode, which we'll get there in a minute. I just want to, because we're on the topic of the Yagway real quick. In the episode, the same character pronounces it both the Yagway and the Yagwai within 2 minutes of each other.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the joke at the beginning of the thing, because I'm like, which one is it really? Because we don't know, because the show cannot even decide what it's called. So,
It may be one of those words that's it's correctly pronounced both ways.
yeah, it's quite possible.
Because languages are weird.
They are. So, anyway, for episode 10, The Cricket Game, we have Hook and Cora arriving on the docks of Storybrooke, and Hook decides that, it's time to part ways with Cora, and she kind of teleports in front of him and tells him no. He's like, what do you mean? We had a deal. And she's like, ask yourself why I'm doing this. And he goes, magic. Aha. So
Yeah, in that point of it, because she told him it's a land without magic the first time she said we're gonna go there, and then after she's like, oh, do you see why? And he's like, shit, she just teleported in front of me in a purple smoke. It's gotta be magic. Shit, I'm gonna die if I go up against Rumple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they kind of have to pair up for a bit. They don't have a choice. So it's time to investigate Storybrooke.
Hey, wait a minute. Was that guy they turned into a fish? Was that Flounder?
I don't think so.
No.
I'm kidding. Did they turn him into a Flounder? I can't remember.
Is
what
he
a
even
flounder looks like.
No.
named? I'm sure they named him in the wiki or something, but I mean, like,
No.
not even.
Nope.
Weird.
I can't remember what a flounder fish looks like, so they don't look it up. It was just it's like
They're
wait,
yellow with blue stripes.
I know that's what they really look.
That's not how they really look now.
He's not credited at all.
Wow.
Mm. He had to in someone because he's like, oh, you had magic just like the other place we used to live.
Yeah.
Or something. He said something to that effect. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep.
Must have been a very big.
In the meantime, back in the charming residence, it's sexy time.
I always thought this taco scene, super
tacos.
Super tacos.
was fucking hilarious.
It was gross.
It was yes, and
Dad, why
funny
you
at
do
the same
that?
time. It was like, Henry walks in, he's like, "Why are you guys still in bed?" And it's like, I'm just
We're
like,
gonna make tacos.
Let's go make tacos. Let's go, like right now.
I do love the fact Charming's like, after all these years, we could still, give her childhood trauma.
Yeah.
It's like, they're like, yes, we can still do it.
There are these things called locks.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's why Emma said you could at least put a tie on the door or something, because she
And
gets all those
why-
kinds of things.
I mean,
Well,
you
there
know,
are things called locks. However, Emma is living there.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
has heat.
They have a wooden peg lock that is the second one on top.
That involves them getting out of bed, though.
Well, you could have done that when you locked the door.
They
the
didn't
first
lock
lock.
the door. Emma left while they were still in bed, and
Then,
they never got out
then
of bed.
again, on the other hand, you know what? Your parents have been apart for 28 years,
Right.
and then they were apart again. Yeah, Henry, let's go make tacos at Granny's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's not the first thing Emma's thinking of.
That's
You
what I
know,
would be able to,
Emma.
if they have a,
Emma's never
they have
had
a
parents
habit
before.
for it.
Emma doesn't understand this. This is the first time she's dealing with this, and that's why.
First time dealing, but she knows exactly what's going on.
Well, of course she does, but I'm saying she's not thinking that her parents are doing that. You know what I mean?
She doesn't want to think of her parents doing that.
So.
No
You
one
know.
wants to think of their parents doing that.
Yeah, stop thinking about it right now, everyone.
Your parents at least did it once to have you.
So they kind of, in the process, they traumatize Emma a little bit. Henry's very naive to the situation. He doesn't know what's going on. And,
He's so oblivious.
yeah. And, Charming is very proud that, they can still traumatize their daughter at this age. So.
Gross.
I think she's fine. I think initially she was like, "Oh my god, this is gross," but now she's like, "Whatever."
No, she's traumatized for life. Never be the same again.
And my parents are doing it. Oh.
So Emma gets distracted and doesn't tell them exactly what she had planned on telling them, which was that their welcome home party later on, that she invited Regina. So when it comes time for the party, everyone just kind of jaw drop. They're in shock. And they're kind of upset with Emma at first because they're like, "Why didn't you tell us?" And I tried, but you guys were a little busy. So.
Well, you should know that when you throw a party at Granny's, everybody, even people who aren't from this town, are there because they all can fit there anyway. But this is the place. This is the place where things happen. So of course she's going to be there, regardless of who invited her or not.
And Grumpy comes in being a little asshat. He grabs a fucking knife. What's he gonna do against Regina with a knife?
I don't know.
Seriously, dwarf?
I don't know. I think Grumpy. I won't be upset if he's not in season 7. Just
Right.
But she's
And then
not.
he goes over. Okay, Regina is serving Henry lasagna. And he's eating it. He goes, "What you got in there? Poison?" If he was poison, she's not gonna serve it to Henry. You fucktard.
Yeah. No, if Grumpy is in season 7,
he
it's
ate
going to
it.
be in just the first
I know.
episode, because the first episode is going to be the only episode that we have. Well, I can't say for sure it's going to be the only episode we have of Storybrooke, but it probably will be the only episode. We may get, another flash somewhere, but we're moving. We're no longer in Maine next season. We're moving to Seattle.
Well, maybe
Right,
they're far
Hyperion
enough in the
Heights.
future that Grumpy is either dead or some old
he's a
dwarf
dwarf.
home.
Well,
Old dwarf farm.
from what I
They're born
understand,
old.
is everybody still remains in Storybrooke, and only Regina Rumpel, Henry, and Hook make their way out of Storybrooke to get affected by another curse. So everybody else is in Storybrooke. They didn't make it to the Enchanted Forest. They're still in Storybrooke. So We are absolutely leaving that town. We will very, very, very few and far between see it. So chances of them being around, very slim, very slim. Other than those 4 characters.
I'm happy because he was like the town crier. He cried everything. He like cried wolf about everything.
Yep.
Yep.
But he
I'm
wasn't there
sorry.
when there was an actual wolf.
Yeah,
No.
right. He's the one that made everyone
He's an instigator.
frenzy. Yeah, he made everyone into a frenzy. It's like, stop it!
Damn sheeple.
Stop it, you stupid dwarf. He was just insecure because Nova didn't want him anymore. I bet you that's what.
That's probably what happened. That's why we don't see her.
Nova said, I'm a nun now. I'm married to a higher purpose. Sorry.
Well, she's still
Wait,
I don't think she's a nun anymore.
No, I
No.
think she's the mother of some mutant child in The Gifted or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's odd.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, where would you
yeah.
get that idea?
Oh no. Grumpy needs some therapy. He needs to keep his mouth shut.
But everyone
Yep.
loved that lasagna. You know, the lasagna was
The
gone.
lasagna was gone. They ate every last bit of it. Those red pepper flakes were a hit.
Yeah, to be fair though, I love me some good lasagna, so if they weren't eating it, I was gonna eat it all. Just
But
saying.
it better be, but like that lasagna, that was the good lasagna that isn't hard.
That
like
isn't
on the
frozen,
edges. It's not
Granny.
Granny,
No.
we're looking at you.
everything is, see, it's baked so nicely. Like the middle part isn't like burnt, and then the outsides are like miserable.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
I almost kinda
everybody
wish
eats her
it was less poison.
lasagna. Everybody eats Regina's lasagna, and then nobody is paying any attention to her. So she gets upset.
Because food. So
Yeah. So she gets upset, and she kind of tries to sneak out, but Emma catches it.
Sneak out.
And-
Nobody noticed.
Yeah. Well, she tried to sneak out. Emma did notice. So Emma chases after her. She thanks her for coming. Glad that she could spend some time with Henry. Regina then asks if Henry could stay over, a couple nights here and there. And Emma's just like, yeah, I'm not so sure about that. So
Why?
Regina kind of throws in Emma's face that she's being a bad parent, throws this little temper tantrum, and then apologizes immediately after. Emma accepts the apology and then states, the only reason that she even invited her was because Dr. Hopper said it was a good idea. So-
Dr. Hopper. That's the reason why I don't like this episode.
Well, yeah. I mean, he technically did break
He did. You're not supposed to say
patient
anything. You're not even supposed to.
confidentiality.
You're not even supposed to tell people who your patients are. So yeah, he broke
Or
the
even
rules.
you have patients. I'm surprised that you don't have as many as you probably should have. But
Yeah. And then he's like, but I didn't. I did it for good reasons. And she's like, you got your PhD through a curse. And then I love in the middle of the argument, Ruby walks over. And she goes, go walk yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
right.
for a walk.
I felt bad for Regina because she's trying so hard to change, and the only person that's seeing it is Emma, and Emma can't
Emma.
make anyone. Well, Emma kind of seeing that and Emma and Henry, I guess.
Emma starts to see it
Yeah.
until
And-
the thing happened. But then,
Yeah, but I don't know. I just felt bad for the whole entire time.
well, that's because we know she's trying to change. Like the entire town,
Well, I think
for how
even
stupid they are, they don't know. They just don't.
I mean, even at the time when I first watched this, I felt bad for her because you could tell that she's really trying, and it's hard. It's an inner struggle between basically good and evil inside you.
There's
Yeah.
that, and there's also the preconception that everybody in that town has of Regina because she was the evil queen in the Enchanted Forest. They all just got their memories back. The only person, I think Emma said it to Charming and Snow. Well, David and Mary Martin. Who the fuck cares who they are? She says, she's Regina now. She's not the evil queen.
Well,
she's
she was always
she's-
Regina, but
Well, Regina, the mayor of Storybrooke, Regina.
well, that's not that much better.
No, but
Yeah.
it is different. She's a different person because of all the things leading up to this point 28 years, having Henry, learning to love Henry, learning to accept her faults, accepting new people in her life. That's what she's trying to overcome. All these things are just rushing in on her. It's a lot to handle.
And Snow needs to keep in mind that Regina didn't have a Henry back in the Enchanted Forest. Well, she did. Not that Henry.
She had a dad.
But he was kind of a wuss.
Yeah, he was.
Mm-hmm. He was kind of her servant. He was even dressed that way.
Yeah, right. But yeah, it's just like Emma's the only one because Emma doesn't have any preconceived notions of her from the past because she didn't know her. So she's just looking at her as she is now. And she can see her in a different light than what everyone else sees her in. And it's just really sad because you got, everyone else saying Regina's this, Regina's that, Regina did this, da da da. And all you see is the way she is now. So you got these two conflicting.
Yeah.
Right. And then you had the interrogation that she did, and when Emma said, about Archie's death, Regina was legitimately shocked, and you kind of got like Emma's broken superpower thing, whatever. Mm-hmm. So she believed Regina. So, even despite, Ruby's testimony that she saw them in an argument, she saw Regina go into Dr. Hopper's office, Emma refuses to believe it. So they go and do an investigation, and they find further evidence. Regina's files are missing in Archie's place. All this stuff, that kind of points to Regina. But Emma's like, usually, here in the real world, evidence is not easy like that. It's hard to find. So Emma's still not buying into it. So she goes, the only person I could think of that would cover their tracks and want to blame Regina here is Mr. Gold. So they make their way to Gold's shop, and Rumple teaches Emma how to use this magic dream catcher to extract Pongo's memories, and they all point once again to Regina, except this time it's like a video recording, Emma has no choice but to believe it. So she confronts Regina. Regina's still, acting clueless, because obviously we saw it was Cora. We saw that right from the start, so we as viewers know. I personally think they should have held that from the viewers for an episode. But I don't know. I think it would have been better for us.
We wouldn't have dramatic irony.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. And then, so Emma's like, I have to tell Henry, that Regina killed Archie. And you see Regina sitting in her car crying because, she legit didn't do it. But, now even her son thinks that she's the bad guy, Well,
also, they didn't even take him, I don't know. I think it's weird because Pongo immediately started barking at her when she came in, but any other time Regina has been around Pongo, Pongo doesn't bark at her.
Yeah, Archie could have taken the cue. He could have, but he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
Yeah, but, it's Archie.
Yeah.
Archie's clueless. He's a cricket.
Yep. Meanwhile, back on the ship, we see Cora tells Hook that she has a gift for him below deck.
And it's a stupid, lame-ass gift that nobody ever wants.
It is. It's Archie.
Come on now. Hook gave her a heart, and he gives her Archie.
Yeah.
And she gives him Archie. What kind of lame-ass is that?
Hook gives...
Fierce Cora.
Hook gives him a heart. Gives her a heart. And Cora gives him a conscience. Not a very good trade.
That's not a conscience.
Not a very good trade.
Realistically, Hook already has a conscience. He really does. Whether or not
he's not listening to it.
He's not listening to it. We know from things, from the other episodes. We know his past. We know what kind of honorable man he was. And even though he's mad at what happened to Mila and between Mila and the crocodile and all this other kind of stuff, we know what kind of man at the root he really, really is. So we could see that every once in a while when he interacts with people, which I think is actually really kind of cool that they did that. They make him. Yep. He's not just one layer. He's an onion.
He's an ogre.
Except he
Not
probably
these, not the
smells like
ogres,
rum
but-
and not onions.
Oh, I'll be okay with that.
Yeah, I'm
Actually,
better
Hook-
with the smell of rum than onions.
Hook looks like he smells good though.
Yes, he does.
That's true.
He does. He looks like he smells delicious.
Well,
He smells
like
another
rum,
topic for another
rum
day.
and leather in the ocean. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We're
So
turn into that kind
the
of.
reason why Cora gave Hook Archie was because apparently he knows all of the townspeople's secrets, even Rumple's. I'm sitting here thinking, I'm pretty sure Rumple is not going to Archie and telling him things. Like
I'm
Archie,
sure nobody goes
you
to
know.
Archie and tells things.
No, people do. We've seen people come and go out of his office before, but
2 people.
no,
Not
no more than 2.
important people. Not important people. I don't think
It's-
Rumple's going to him.
No, definitely. Well, Rumple retained his memories through the whole thing, so he's not going to
Yeah.
be sitting there talking, to Archie, revealing his deepest
Nobody wants
secrets
to
when
sit
he
and talk to
knows
Archie.
exactly what's going on. Rumple knows everything.
See,
So-
everybody
Well-
knows that Belle and Rumple are together. They know this. Belle and Gold. So,
Why
like,
they not?
any
But-
random schmo that walks into Archie's office can be like, well, Belle and Rumple or Belle and Mr. Gold were eating a burger, blah, blah, blah. And Archie knows that now. Now he knows they're a couple. So that's information that he just obtained from some random schmo that walked into his
You know
office.
what I find funny is that, Hook went to get Belle out of Regina's castle so he could get, find out about how to kill Rumple. And then Ricora did the same thing, grabbed the wrong person. The person that didn't know anything, just like Belle didn't know anything how to kill Rumple, and Archie doesn't know shit.
Well, now Belle knows.
Well, Belle knows now.
Well, the
but-
problem is, I don't understand how Cora knew about Dr. Hopper knowing all the town's secrets. So you knew that this.
He just knew because I think she just saw the name.
So
The therapist.
you knew that this guy's white ass is the therapist
Well,
in town, but you can't walk
they-
into town and see Belle and
they-
Rumple holding hands together down the street.
They got there at night, and by the time all this happened was during the day, so they've been there overnight to, research the town. They did say
And
they
the
were going to go.
information that you gathered was this guy's therapist. No further evidence.
Pretty
We
much.
don't even know who the guy who she clamored Archie upstairs. She's like, I don't know who it was, that guy.
Yeah, it was my
killed."
first day in town. I don't know who he was. We don't know who he was either as viewers.
was
The
probably
rest of the
someone-
town doesn't know anybody else is missing.
It could have been someone really important, that explains why we haven't seen some certain Disney characters in this show.
But nobody even notices that anybody's missing.
Yeah.
Well, no, they don't.
Well, there's 2 people missing. The guy who turned into a fish and whoever the Archie clamor
That could have
was.
been Aladdin for all we know. It wasn't Aladdin. but it could have
It
been.
wasn't Aladdin, but it could have been. Because apparently he's been there from the get-go.
Yeah. Just really quick before we go into the flashbacks. Red Bandit said we are going back to see Storybrooke in 3 episodes in season 3, 1st, 2nd, and 4th.
Okay.
So.
That's good to know.
Yeah. So in the flashbacks, we were dealing with Regina as the evil queen, seeing her burn down a village, finding out, Snow is alone, so she plans to go kill her. It ends up being trap Snow is setting, offers Regina a chance to surrender. When she refuses, Blue comes in, intervenes, and they capture Regina. So they're having their council meeting, which is pretty much the same council we saw at the beginning when they were discussing the curse and all that, with the exception of Marco, because Marco was never part of the council. He was taken in, I think, to build the tree. So,
Yeah.
Build
Well, because
the tree.
they.
But Grumpy was there.
Yeah.
Of course.
I mean, for obvious reasons, but yeah, Snow doesn't really have connections to Geppetto or Archie really. There are some characters I noticed.
Snow and Geppetto, other than the wardrobe that they sent Emma through, that's really the only connection.
Yeah, but I never thought about this before. There are just some characters who don't really know each other, and they had never had their paths crossed before.
Like
But, we
Aurora
see
and Snow
all the-
White.
Yeah, we see them like now all the time, together. But like, I don't know, when you stop and realize not everybody is connected, and I find that interesting. There are some characters who are just completely oblivious to like what's going on, out on the other side of the world.
Like,
Well, I mean, they are all connected in a way, because if Snow doesn't know, like Mulan directly, she only recently found out. Snow knew of, Belle, or I don't know, whatever the case is, but somebody knew somebody.
Did Snow even know Belle?
I don't know.
I don't think
I don't know for sure.
She didn't.
No, they didn't.
Well,
And she
Belle
didn't know
knew
about
Grumpy,
shit.
Grumpy knew Snow, Belle knew Mulan, so there is a connection, but it's not a direct one.
7 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So how
Oh,
many? So you are. So how many times removed is that from Belle?
Right.
Well, let's
twice removed
do
from Belle.
Let's do
3
one further.
times
What about
from
Nova?
For Nova. No, from Nova to Prince Philip.
No.
Nova knows Dreamy / Grumpy. Who knows Belle? Who knows Mulan? Who knows Philip?
Yeah.
Who knows Aurora?
Well, actually, Belle knew Philip too, so you can
Only because she.
you can cut it even shorter. You don't have to go through Mulan.
Belle didn't know Philip though, did she? Well, I can.
Not
The
until
young
after
boy.
she saved him. Not until she saved them.
Yeah. But anyway, so during the execution, Regina's having some last words, make it seem like she's gonna head towards an apology, and takes it in a completely different direction.
Mhm.
She's sorry that she didn't cause more misery and murder. Ow, my ears. And Snow ends up stopping mid-execution
Because Regina knew that she would.
with Shady Blue's help.
Well, you could tell that Regina was just saying that shit just so people would get mad at her, so they would go through with it.
Mhm.
I think in a way she wanted them to, because then it would end her pain, basically.
Yeah.
No, I think she knew that Snow would stop it. She had that little smirky smirk.
I don't
No,
even think she
I
had
don't
to say
think
what she
so.
had to say for Belle to stop, or not Belle, for Snow
No.
to stop it. Because
She didn't have to say
No.
anything first.
It was.
She wanted
after
to get that in there.
Yeah, but it was after when they put the blindfold on it. It was the look that Snow saw on her face, the true look of fear, and but at the same time, I think Regina wanted this to happen just to stop the pain, just to stop it, because whether or not she was evil or not, her evilness came from the pain of losing Daniel. And to finally end that pain would probably be a blessing for her.
I don't think Regina would go that route, though. At least not this Regina.
I think she was just, she had nothing else. She was defeated. She was losing everything. Why even still be around?
Well, because I think that at this point, because at this Regina right now, in this point in time, believes, and she's like hell bent on it, that I'm not going to be happy again until the person who took away my happiness is gone, which technically is Cora, but for her right now, since Cora's not here, it's Snow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But no, I think I think there were, like Snow said, there was still that good person in her, whether she wanted to believe it or not. And when it came down to it, where she was stripped of everything, that's all she had left.
Interesting question in chat. Alex says, do you guys think that if Snow did not stop it, the execution, Rumple would have stopped it because he was in the crowd? He totally would have, because he needs Regina.
Mm-hmm. He even said that later in the episode.
I'm going to say right now that Rumple would not have stopped it, because Rumple at that point had the seer powers, so he knew that Snow was going to stop it regardless. So
yes, but had she not, would he?
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
But
he did not.
But she was going to, because.
Well, here's the thing about seers.
He would have seen it another way if that was the case.
I think because clairvoyance is a tricky thing, and we don't really exactly know how it works in this show. But generally, seers see possible outcomes, not what is for sure going to happen.
It can be shown as one way, but it could be from a different angle. Do you, something,
Right,
like...
but he knew that Regina, we knew 100% he knew Regina was casting the curse, so he knew he didn't have to
Maybe
interfere.
he knew that. Maybe he saw that. Maybe he can see the big picture, but not little moments. Because he doesn't have all the answers. So maybe he knew that Regina was going to ultimately cast the curse, but the circumstances in which that will lead up to that happening, he doesn't know. So maybe he couldn't see Snow stopping the execution. So if she didn't, he might have stopped it. Because he knows, no, I need Regina. And this is not what I thought was going to happen, but it's happening, so I got to fix it.
Yeah, I don't think he would have intervened because I think he knows exactly what's going on. But that's just me. So Rumpel ends up talking to Snow, giving Snow a test to see if Regina's legit, whatever. So made it so that Regina cannot kill Snow in this land.
Can't harm them
Yes.
in any ways.
Both of them, the Charmings.
Yes. So,
which is a good way to excuse Regina not going after them earlier.
Yep, it actually works out really well. So Snow gives Regina a chance to leave and leave all her evil behind in the cell with her, and Regina ends up trying to kill Snow. In the process, fails the test. So Rumpel explains to Regina later that he may have helped Snow, but he's still a friend. Because Regina can kill her in another land. So this is setting up the curse. So, but yeah. So that is pretty much the entirety of the cricket game.
Why doesn't Rumpel cast the curse? I'm sure they've answered this, but I don't remember why.
Because you need to give up the thing you love the most.
Oh yeah.
And he already gave it up.
So.
Yeah, he already gave it up. His thing is already gone.
Yep. Bay is already gone. So. But yeah. So we start off the second episode with Rumpel taking Smee to the town line. We learn about
I found this scene funny.
We learn about Smee's hat, that it was made by his grandmother, and that the potion the Rumpel has to be poured over an object that you cherish the most. So it in fact did work over Smee's hat, and
so that hat is so important
to Smee. Yeah, it is. His grandmother made it. So
I mean, other than
And grandmama.
the symbol on my beanie right now, I'm kind of wearing Shmi's hat.
just turn the hat around backwards.
I could.
Then we wouldn't know. So the experiment was a success. Smee remembers who he is. He's William Smee. Now Rumpel could plan his trip, so he kind of shares the details with Belle. However, he says there's only enough potion left for one item, which is Balefire's shawl, which he seemed to neglect that Mila made the shawl. Did not mention that.
Well, who the fuck cares?
She was a
Rumpel?
bad mother anyways. She died, remember? So much for Rumpel not fucking lying and only telling the truth.
He didn't lie. She died.
But he lied before
initially.
she actually died.
Initially, she did not die.
Yeah.
She
And like
died.
what the way that the conversation between Belle and Gold at that point, she was asking what happened to her on the ship before he became the Dark One. She just left. She didn't die. He's jumping ahead and saying she died because he killed her because when he became the Dark One, he punished her for being a piece of shit.
Well, yeah,
But
not
he still-
undeserved, but you know.
I don't know how Belle, when Hook got that close to her, just resisted him. I don't understand that.
Well, because you know, I honestly couldn't tell you why. But,
Exactly.
well, I think it's because
I don't even know.
well, Belle is, you know, I'm good. I was
mean-
gonna say she's smart, but you know.
We know
No.
she's.
She's
I mean-
book smart.
She is book smart, and that is the part of the episode.
She reads
that was
fairy
really good.
tales.
She's book smart.
She was reading actual text in the Enchanted Forest when she went.
Yeah, she read a
hunting for the
different
Yawgmoth.
language in this
Yes.
language. I don't know
So,
where
like-
I don't know where you picked this up, but
Her particular, like, her writing in the Enchanted Forest part of this episode was really, really good. But when
whenever
we
she's
get-
in the Enchanted Forest, she's good. Whenever she's
Yeah.
in, Storybrooke, it's like, what happened?
But we did have Archie's funeral. His gravestone said Archie, friend and conscience.
Yes, she was wearing a wig.
And then we had Marco Bell, Blue, the dwarves, Snow, David Henry, and Emma as the only people in town that care about Archie.
Everyone else thinks he's boring.
And Granny. Granny was there too.
I'm pretty sure they all feel the same way about
Granny and
Archie's
Ruby.
view.
Yeah.
I think they all went there out of necessity. See, they were all having dinner at Granny's, and they're like, "Hey, Archie's having a funeral," and they're like, "Yeah, we'll come."
I miss Granny playing a bigger role.
Yeah.
Yeah, in these episodes, she played a more upfront role about things, and I miss. I mean, hello, Granny said bitch.
Yeah,
and they used to curse on the show.
Yeah, she does have that quip about her where she's just like clever and nasty at the same time.
I want a show with Granny back in her youth, being a wolf and slaying everybody, both metaphorically and physically.
I'd even be happy with just a flashback episode, to be honest.
Well, that'd be great. How did we know how she turned
episode of
into
her making meatloaf in the Enchanted Forest.
just
I know.
It's much harder to make
killing.
in the Enchanted
Well,
Forest.
what did she kill to make the meatloaf? What did they eat back then? What?
Ashley said I forgot that Archie died.
Well, because
and yeah, I did too, to be honest.
I mean, because he didn't. So there was nothing to forget, and and I wish I had forgotten that it was revealed that he didn't.
They won't let us forget about Archie. Not that we just want to forget.
Well, yeah, to me he was dead, but then like we started doing the rewinds, and then he's back all of a sudden on my TV screen. I'm like, oh yeah, you were a thing.
I mean, it sounds really bad. The actor they got to play him is really good, but at the same time, this character is very freaking annoying and pointless.
Well, I mean, the actor is not bad, but he's good at playing, this boring, worthless piece of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have issues with the writing on this show because there's just so many
Hey,
characters.
I refer back to Belle.
Yeah. No, like if it's the fact that we don't like a character's written a certain way, it may be the fact that a character doesn't get enough screen time, which may not come down to the writing, that may come down to availability. But yes, like you can't instantly assume that because a character is not showing up on the show was reason for the writing. They had an arc, for example, planned for Ruby, planned for Dr. Whale, which we have not seen yet. The hooks, no pun intended, for the those scenes. They'll be coming up in a couple episodes from now.
I don't know.
But because the actress Ruby Meganori, she accepted a role on another series, and she left. So
and then that show was canceled.
Right. So that's no fault to the writers. That's the actress. So you can't always blame the writing for that. Things like the way Belle is personally written when she is on screen, that's something we can,
Yeah, well, I mean, the same with Archie. Archie is a poorly written character. That's what I was going upon. Like, it's just like, because there's so many characters, they can't put the right amount of time into the characters that are on screen at the moment.
Yeah, which is kind of a reason why I think they're stepping back from the large cast this coming season, and they're
which is good,
bringing it tighter, But
yes.
what I like about this coming season too is we're gonna kind of get that season 1 mystery of who is this character again, because it's gonna be a curse and present day, and we're gonna get flashbacks to find out these characters, and all bets are off.
They tried to do that back in season 6, and it didn't work.
Well, all bets are gonna be off because we actually don't know who most of these characters are, because we think we know who Cinderella is, but there's going to be another Cinderella. We think we know who Alice is, but there's going to be another Alice, you know, so.
See, we kind of hoped for the same kind of feeling when they they were introducing all the untold story kind of elements.
But there were like 3 episodes
Yeah,
of that, and those characters never showed up again, nor did they really have an impact on the episode that they were in.
Yeah, so like, I kind of wish they would have delved into that a little bit more, but
But I think now that these are characters we're familiar with, but it's going to be more impactful that we think we know how these stories are going to go because we saw them before, but it's like, no, these are different characters and their stories are going to go, you know, in a completely different direction.
Yeah, they're the same. The only thing that'll come is that possibly get the same name.
Yeah.
But their stories are different.
yeah.
We don't, you know, for all we know, in this one, Cinderella's dad doesn't die, and she isn't left with her evil step-parent. You know,
In the original
sister.
Cinderella story, the dad is still alive and he allows this stuff to happen to his daughter, and it's really fucked up. I hope kind of explore why that is if they do that version of the story, and that is the French version of the story.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different avenues they can take.
Yep.
And Anastasia's stepsister.
Yes.
No, but with
Yes. Okay. There. Move on. We can move
but
on.
with Archie gone, it leaves Pongo ownerless. So Emma decides, you know, maybe it's a good thing for Henry to take care of Pongo.
Or why didn't they give him to Roger? And this is how you introduce him and Anita. But no, we saved that for, you know, a later season. But even though those 2 characters, you know, never made an appearance in the show, yet we have Cruella and we give her her own backstory that connects nothing. She doesn't even connect to Pongo at all.
But this sets up that the place is too small, and that Snow wants to move. Meanwhile, we have, you know, Grumpy, who wants to know when they're going back to the Enchanted Forest because, you know, everyone's homesick. They're also kind of worried that the town isn't safe anymore, and what will happen if people come into the town and accept that magic is, you know, real and things like that.
Here goes Grumpy overthinking everything and being the town crier.
Guess what, Grumpy? You go back to the Enchanted Forest, you're gonna get eaten by a fucking ogre. What is more safe?
I mean, they told her
Ogre-infested
that.
land,
They told
or
her
a few
that,
stabby
though.
stabs.
Or maybe, for heaven
Well,
forbid,
you have Charming
maybe
too.
new people.
Charming wants to go back as well. He wants to go back and fight for his land. He wants to overthrow Cora. You know, all this stuff that, you know, he thinks is
wants to
going
live on
on.
a fucking farm. God, it's like, no.
He is
No.
a farm boy.
I think
I know.
David like kind of misses, and like he'll never openly admit this, but he misses when his life was simple and like it's just him and his mom on a farm, and he didn't have to
we all
worry
know-
about any of this.
We all know in the end of this last season, they finally get their farm.
It's true.
It's only taken them how many years to get their farm?
Your mom's still dead.
4.
4 years to get their farm.
I mean, like,
Well, 4 seasons.
Yeah.
It's more time because time jumps.
Yeah.
It's been like, you know, with all the time jumps that they have, it's probably like 500 years later. And,
500 years later.
I
But,
don't know.
you know,
think-
I mean,
think-
even what was it, Snow that told Grumpy, dude, there's ogres infesting everywhere, and he's like, I still want to go back. And he's making everyone all mopey and I don't know.
But it's not Grumpy saying that he wants to go back. He said people are talking. He's the one speaking up for them because nobody else wants to speak up.
Well, nobody else was told either that, you know, there's ogres infesting.
We don't know
fucking
for
land.
sure.
But, I mean, like, I don't know.
Well, I think people would start asking Snow and Emma, like, you've been there, like, what's it like? Is it like still there? Like, what went wrong? And she's probably gonna say there's fucking ogres everywhere. You don't want to go back.
I mean, they've only been back for like, what, 12 hours, maybe? And no one has talked to them, but Grumpy's assuming everyone wants the same thing.
The conversation between David and Mary Margaret when they were discussing a house, and David's like, I just want to go back. I want to fight for our land. And Snow's like, I want to stay here. I don't want to
I'm
fucking
sick
fight
of fighting.
anymore.
Sick of fighting.
Well,
Like,
she's done. I understand.
Yeah, like, and I don't know, like, I think it actually kind of, like, he kind of realized, like, oh, yeah, but he still wants to go back. But he's
Yeah,
not gonna
I mean-
tell her that anymore.
I mean, you understand that they do want to go back home because it is their home.
Mhm.
At the same time, through the whole entire relationship of Snow and Charming, that's all they've been doing is fighting and trying to regain their land. And then when they finally did regain their land and stuff, the fucking curse happens. You know, when they finally get married and have a kid and stuff, and things seem to be settled down, then the curse happens. And they're constantly fighting and fighting. And I can understand Mary Margaret just being like, "I'm done. I want to, sip my coffee on a Sunday morning on the porch, watching the birds.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to constantly be fighting
It
someone."
would be really weird to have everybody go back, including Emma. Like Emma's been there now, we've seen it, but she felt very out of place there. And I don't think she would ever feel at home.
No.
Because it's not her home.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
we
it
did
is.
have.
No,
did
it's
have that
not.
one episode
It's where she was born. It's not her
the
home.
the alternate dimension,
Yeah.
where with the wish and the
Yeah.
whole. Yeah, like we had that. Snow was there. I mean, Emma was there, and she was.
A priss. She was
But
so
she-
prissy.
but
It
she knew
was so
something was
bad.
But even then, she knew something was off. She wasn't fully happy there.
Yeah, she was so prissy, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so weird.
How do I hold a sword? Oh no!
I know. Here, I'll give you anything you want. Just don't hurt us.
Henry had the sword. It was fine.
I know.
So, anyway, we have...
Henry was kind of dick in that.
Yeah, he
show.
was.
We have Hook interrogating Archie, looking for the Dark One's weakness. He doesn't know anything about the dagger. And then when Hook threatens him at Hook Point, that, Archie kind of reveals, I think it's off camera, I don't remember him saying it on camera, that Belle is here. So Hook then makes his way to the library to kidnap Belle, get some information out of her. She pushes the bookshelf onto him, and then escapes into the Maleficent elevator. Tries to call for Rumple, but has really bad reception.
Because you're
It's probably like a cage, what are those called, the Faraday cages or whatnot. It's
Well,
probably like that.
let's be honest. Who gets good cell phone reception in an elevator?
And they just have those stupid flip phones. They didn't even have smartphones, so
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Rumple comes to the rescue, tells Belle, about Mila, why, he's so upset with Hook, how Mila was taken from him, so he took Hook's hand, and that she died and didn't quite tell her how.
You can't take something that was never really was yours, dude.
Mm-hmm. So they head back to the shop, only to find out that the shop is completely trashed, and Bay's shawl is missing. Mr. Smee took it. Yeah.
I mean, you could have, easily just, without breaking things.
I know,
taken the
right?
shawl.
Why-
I think it was out on
why-
the counter. Like, just grab the shawl and go. Like, what the fuck?
No, it was in his safe. But
Well,
still,
I mean, still.
Yeah.
why break everything?
I don't know. But Smee took it. So, Rumple is effectively trapped in town. So, of course, he wants to retrieve it. Really quick, Red Bandit says in chat, if you look closely, when Snow made the comment about having turrets on the house, you
On the
kind of
castle,
see
yeah.
Emma laugh a little bit. So,
No, it wasn't AT&T. It was T-Mobile. No, sorry, that was really.
No. Why did that one get me?
He didn't even talk ducks. He's funny. Yes, I did it.
Oh, God.
that just happened. Jeez.
Oh, Belle. Get out of here.
So, Rumple asks Belle to stay behind. He wants her to stay safe, so he doesn't have to worry about her, and then gives her a gun.
Gives her a gun. Give someone that's never seen a gun a gun.
Yeah. Seems
Well,
legit.
I was expecting, something like that to happen. He's like, here, take this. She's like, oh, what is this?
I was waiting for him to shoot him in the leg or something on accident.
She's
But
like, that is,
She knows
like,
how to
that is,
use-
that is what I'm supposed to do, right?
She knows how to use bags of dust. Why don't you just give her one of those?
He probably doesn't have.
They had,
I'm
Duh.
sure he. I'm
they
sure
had
he has a
guns in the
stockpile.
Enchanted Forest. I'm
Well,
sure.
you know what, if you
I'm sure
poke
she's seen a
yourself-
gun before.
Well, I think, Rumple, if you poked yourself, dust would come out.
Mm.
I don't want to even touch that one.
So in the meantime, we have Rumple confronting Mr. Smee, admits that he did in fact give the shawl to Hook. So Rumple then proceeds to turn Smee into a rat.
Because it's a metaphor.
Is it? What is it a metaphor to?
He's a rat.
It's
He's a thieving rat.
They turned into a rat.
Hmm. So, I forget what season. Is it later this season or is it next season that?
Oh God, I don't even know why or when Shmi gets turned back into a person. I don't even remember.
I didn't bother to remember because I don't care about this character at all.
Smeed is just a opportunist.
I don't know. Well, what did we need to do? Well, okay, I don't remember. I legit don't remember him turning back.
He does.
It was.
I just don't remember when.
It was in season 3.
Oh, excuse me.
It was because of Pan's curse.
Uh-huh.
Pan's curse undoes it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So that's how he comes back because I was curious about that. And then so Belle's cleaning up the library. She ends up seeing the monkey knot in the book area where Hook was, fell over. Realizes that Hook came over on his ship. So she goes to the dock to find the ship and sees a seagull floating up in the sky.
Just
That's
sitting
odd.
there.
And so she takes some bird feed and throws it on the dock. And
Wouldn't there be a giant gap in the water?
probably. Water
I know
displacement?
there's a ramp going up and stuff, but was it bird feed or was it just sand?
I don't know. It was something she took out of the box.
Yeah, I thought it was like bird feed.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. So she finds the cloaked ship, goes in, finds Archie, frees him, tells him to go get gold. Instead of, somehow when she frees him, she hears somebody board the ship. But somehow Archie's able to make it off the ship without getting caught, but Belle's stuck in
Right?
there.
I didn't
It's
understand
because
that.
Hook was turning the other way, and Archie just ran across, and Hook then turned around, before.
Oh,
I
just
don't know.
missed him.
Just missed them.
Yeah.
It's a Scooby-Doo episode.
Yeah, exactly. With all the doors.
Yep.
Yeah, that's gotta be it.
Mm-hmm. So Hook confronts Belle, has the shawl with him, tells Belle all about Mila, how she actually left Rumple because he was a coward, how Mila was the one that in fact made the shawl, and that Hook tells Belle that Rumple killed Mila.
Mm-hmm.
So Belle
As-
is
as-
shocked now.
As horrible as the person as Hook is supposed to be, he's actually not. He's actually telling the truth. He's actually very, very much a truthful type person. It's just funny for a pirate. He was been telling the truth the whole entire time,
Yep.
but no one believes him because he's a this big evil pirate.
So in the meantime, Rumple boards the ship and beats the crap out of Hook with his cane. Belle the entire time begging Rumple to spare him, and eventually he gives in and does so. Then we see Archie go see Emma instead of going to Rumple, but we assume he made it to Rumple and then went to
Yeah.
see Emma after. So he tells her that Cora is around. So,
You know Sakura is?
apparently.
Well, I mean, she's the one who. I mean, she probably didn't keep up her disguise, and when she took him to Hook.
But has he met Cora before?
No, I bet you when she had him, she probably said so.
She
Before
could
took
have,
him.
but don't
And when-
forget, like, Cora
she
is
switched-
Regina's mother, and
Yeah.
there was a long period of time where they were both in the Enchanted Forest, so I'm sure characters
Okay.
know of Cora from the Enchanted
Yeah.
Forest.
And when
Oh.
she revealed that he was her present to Hook.
Yeah,
But,
that's
like,
what I mean.
Cora's,
Like
like-
when she talked.
She-
Cora's
she was-
old though. Cora's really old though, and like she disappeared like before Snow kind of came into her own. So I don't know, but
No, I think Archie knew who she was.
yeah, okay.
Well, something
And even if not, he heard the stories when Emma and Mary Margaret came back about Cora being in power, and then probably heard the name Cora between the Hook incident. Either way, I'm sure he knows about Cora to some degree. So we don't see anything further about them revealing the fact that Cora is there to the rest of the town. I'm pretty sure we get that next episode. But in the meantime, Rumpel, now getting his shawl back, decides, it's time to make the trip over the town line. Drives his nice little black caddy up to the line with Belle. Puts the shawl on, walks over the town line.
You have to make it slow for dramatic effect.
Of course.
Yeah,
Retains all his memories, wishes that Belle can come with him, and then next thing we know, Hook shoots Belle. Belle falls over the town line, injured. She does not remember who she is.
You've been
And
teasing.
we get Lucy.
this. Yeah, you've been teasing us with this
Lacey.
Belle
Lacey.
going over the town line. We've had this tease before, and also speaking of recurring themes, we've had a lot of times where like Hook has almost killed Belle on multiple occasions. So it's odd seeing their budding friendship in season 6.
Yep.
Well, look, Belle obviously is easy to forgive people. How many times has she forgiven Rumple?
I mean,
Well,
the
Rumple's
moment,
a special case.
the moment she saw his
Very
face in the
special.
library, she should have been like, "Oh, you're the pirate who tried to kill me in the tower." But no, she was like, "I don't know this pirate guy. He has one hand."
But she did say it. She goes, "You're the one that got me and was trying to take me from the Queen's tower."
Yeah.
She
Oh,
did say
she?
it.
Okay, I just remember her trying to describe him to Rumple.
She
while
didn't know
was
his
in the
name.
elevator.
She didn't
Well,
know
yeah.
his name. She just
She
did.
met
She
him.
was,
She went
once.
5 seconds, and
yeah. She was like, "Ugh, he has one hand."
that's like his defining feature. Like you probably should have started with that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, Rumple's furious, obviously. He
He
conjures
matches
up a
his
fireball.
character in the book I read.
He conjures up a fireball to take out Hook, and that's when a car comes barreling in. Rumple rolls out of the way, the car hits Hook and crashes.
It's from Pennsylvania, and this is when we get
Yeah.
those two douchebags.
Well, not yet.
Oh, pretty soon.
Just one. But the shock that went through everybody, including me, when this episode first premiered, like, holy shit, somebody's in town.
Yep.
Mhm.
And we were just talking, like, because we had Grumpy setting up earlier. What if somebody comes into the town? What are they going to think of magic,
What are you just gonna? Are you just going around the whole entire town going, "Wee, magic here, magic there"?
Yeah,
They pretty much do, though.
No, they don't.
No, they try to. I like the few episodes coming up where they're trying to hide that this place is like totally normal.
And I mean, if they just were acting normal, no one's using magic anyways.
Well, nobody
having-
in this town really has magic except for like some,
Yeah,
characters.
but I just think it's funny. Oh, what if people come? Oh no, you meet new people. Heaven forbid. What are you, a gamer?
You live in your parents' basement.
Yeah.
Right.
So this
Which
is
he probably did.
this is the start of the character Greg Mendel. He's the one in the car. We, however, do not.
And this character gets
Mara?
no resolution.
Is that her name? The
Who?
girl that's
Amara.
the girl with Greg later on is Tamara, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That bitch.
Yeah.
That bitch. Both of them.
But I don't think we
They
see
both
her
got
until next season.
Yeah. Greg
No,
gets out
we see
and he
her.
tell it. Oh,
We see her this season
Do we?
because she's engaged to Neil.
I thought they only.
Wait.
No, she was. She knew of August. She was.
She
with
knew August, and so like when they go to find Neil in New York, that's when we meet her because
And then August was like, "Wait a minute, I know this bitch."
yeah.
She
Oh,
gets
yeah.
around. She gets around. That's all
Tamara was in. She was with August when he was going to see the dragon.
I get,
and
and she poofed. Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
And we get the
I'm
dragon.
starting to remember.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we do get her for a little bit.
She's not a very nice person.
No, she
come-
killed the dragon, but didn't kill the dragon. We still don't know how that went down.
She's first mentioned next episode, and then her first appearance is in the episode "The Queen is Dead," which is episode 15. So we don't see her for a few episodes still. So Greg Mendel is the same case. We don't see him for a little while.
Well, we technically saw him. This episode.
He's in a coma right now. So
I
we're
mean,
not
we
really
saw the
gonna see-
car. We didn't see him.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Yeah, that sets that up. And then we have the flashbacks, right? So this is where we get the Yagwai, the Yagway, which is pronounced different every time we hear it.
I like when they
Actually,
introduce
that's really
mythical
quick. Did I miss the
creatures.
Lost references? I forgot to mention. The only thing was Dopey wearing a Geronimo Jackson shirt. That was it.
Again?
Yeah, it's like the
Does he
only
not-
thing he wears.
Does he not do laundry? He just
I guess.
he just lives in this shirt. He
Yeah.
like works all day in it and he sleeps all night in it. And it's just like,
Pretty
Sounds
much.
like my 12-year-old.
Yeah.
oh.
It's pretty much, I can almost guarantee that anytime you see Dopey on the screen, he's wearing a Geronimo Jackson shirt, and if he's not in the Enchanted Forest. So, that's pretty much it for that. But, yeah, so we have Belle looking for, adventure in the tavern, as we mentioned, Dreamy comes in to thank Belle about Nova.
Who's still
they
dreaming
could,
at this point.
yes, so they could run away together. This is before, everything blows up there.
Yeah.
And then keep in mind, this is also after she leaves Rumple for the first time.
Well, he told her to leave. And she did leave, and then she came back, and then, he did that whole spiel, and so now she's getting drunk in a tavern somewhere.
Yeah. Well, didn't she didn't like him because he was coward, and then when he started doing all this evil stuff, she was like, "Oh, a bad boy," and then she got all randy on him.
Well, what happened was, okay, so at first, she was breaking him down.
Hmm.
And then he told her, then he started warming up to her, and then he realized, okay, you are a prisoner here, I'm letting you go. She let him go. Then she came back, because, she realized that she loves him. And then she started breaking the curse, which we've never seen this come back, by the way, breaking the Dark One's curse with Trulev's kiss, which I'm surprised they had never brought back. But she started doing that. He didn't like that because he was losing the magic. Then he told her to go away. He was almost going to kill her. He wasn't going to kill her, but it felt like he was. Then she ran off. That's when she realized, I don't mean anything to him. Magic is more important to him. So that's why she's getting drunk in this tavern. And then she goes off on her own little adventures, which I would love to see more episodes of her just on her own, doing her own little thing.
Yeah. She was given the fairy dust from Dreamy, though, for repayment,
And that is illegal. He smuggled that shit.
Yeah, probably, pretty much.
Yeah, he shouldn't have taken it out of the mines. It's not meant for that.
I'm sure Nova gave it to him, but
That's still illegal.
yes. And it was in repayment for, Belle's advice before Dreamy
Yeah.
and Nova to run away together.
And
So-
they never do.
No.
Because Noah's like, I can't.
And the
can't.
Nova is in town
Well,
somewhere. She's in Storybrooke and she's avoiding
Yeah.
Grumpy.
She's
Well,
a
because he
sister.
needs to sort out some issues that he has. She's like,
He's
you were
too-
too much.
She
He's too
doesn't
grumpy.
like.
He's too grumpy.
She likes Dreamy. She doesn't like Grumpy. She's like, Grumpy, you need to keep your mouth shut because you're an ass.
Pretty much. So the hunting party's looking for the Yogwai. They tease Belle for reading books, which she translates for them.
Which is probably in Chinese.
By translate, she lies to them and says that it can be found by the lake when in fact it prefers mountain regions.
The fiery dog thing loves to be by the lake.
Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. Well, of course, these guys are stupid as fuck.
Yeah.
That's dumb as rock.
Yeah.
They're just looking for an easy way, so...
They boot Belle off the cart. Before doing so, one of the guards yells at Claude, head toward the lake. Right? Then I started remembering, I'm like, that name Claude, that's very familiar. Claude is the guard that Hook killed in the flashback from last week's episode that we covered. Right? So...
What? Okay.
Claude here has his own little arc. And this is not the last we've seen of Claude either. So Claude, in the story, this is the first appearance we see of him, is here. And he's doing this thing with Belle. Then, next season, season 3, I think it's episode 2, there's, with him as the Queen's Guard, holding a magic mirror or something, regarding Snow falling under the sleeping curse or something like that. And then in the terms of the story is when Hook comes in and then kills Claude. Claude's body then goes to Wonderland, whatever, goes there. This is still not the end of Claude. Claude also comes back in the underworld. Right?
Oh my god, Claude, just go away.
Claude
Producer's
Claude is the one who dismantled the phone booth that they used to talk back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
He's a dick.
this little character that was like twice off mentioned by name, has shown up and had his own little arc, and I thought that was really interesting.
Would you call that an arc?
I would actually. I would.
What did he learn?
He learned that
What did
Regina.
we learn?
He learned that Regina got him killed. That's what he learned.
But Regina didn't get him killed.
He did because he was working for her.
Yeah, but
Working for evil is bad, but he didn't learn his lesson because then he's working for Cruella in the underworld. So.
Well, he can't die again.
And he made bad choices.
Yeah.
And
he
didn't
continues
learn
to make
anything
them.
from it.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's still just a dick.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't call that an arc.
Yeah,
He's in the
It's an
same
arc.
place-
It's not.
He's in the same place he was. There's no arc. It's a point. It's a point, and he's staying there.
An arc does not have to have a lesson to it.
Well, the arc needs to go somewhere, and he didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, he went to the underworld and dismantled the
No,
phone
not
booth.
not physically, Long.
So, no, I actually really like that, to find out that this character has had this little
He just
reoccurring.
pops up.
I feel like
thing.
we learned more about Claude than we have of like Mulan or Ruby right now. Like seriously, what the fuck?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I thought that was really cool. So, Belle goes looking for the Yogwai and tracks it down to the mountain region, finds its cave. The direct image of the book, is drawn. She goes there, steps on a twig, wakes it up. Mulan has to come out of nowhere, save her. Gets mad that, she's been tracking the beast and now it's gone. She just kind of leaves Belle in the middle of the mountains.
I've been tracking this beast for weeks. Belle's like, meh.
Man,
Just
I
found
You're
I
not-
did it in a couple hours.
I did it in a day.
Mulan,
barely.
what were you doing exactly?
He's smelling poo and watching the tracks.
The poo must hurt that poor thing.
It's fiery poops. Butt
Exactly.
cinders. Sorry.
Oh,
But
I'll reference.
I mean, the dog is made of fire and brimstone, so I'm assuming if it's got hot and spicy poop, it's not really gonna.
Well, I like
affect it.
to think that Philip was turned into this creature specifically for its flaming head and its fiery poops because it is in pain all the time. That's why it's so angry.
Okay.
Only people that play
See,
Warlock.
you know what happens. When you're constipated, you don't feel good.
I don't think that's the point of this little hex that's on him right now. But yes, okay.
Like, wouldn't you be upset too?
Maybe.
Just a little history on the Yaguai. This is a Chinese creature.
Mhm.
The name, loosely translated, means freak or demon. And they are usually. These aren't like really a race of creatures per se, like a subspecies. They're actually. They're not born, people, like
They're
evil, magic users are transformed into these things.
Yeah.
So it would make sense. Well, I mean, not really make sense in Philip's case because he didn't do anything wrong. But Maleficent turned him into this beast.
Yes.
As punishment for, punishment. He didn't do anything, but, she wants to punish him. So...
She wants to punish Aurora, so by punishing him, she's punishing Aurora.
It's the same way, why Hook shot Belle, and
and this is a good way. She chooses a Chinese beast, and we're in this part of the Enchanted Forest, and I don't know exactly where this is. I'm going to assume it's near Philip and Aurora's castle. It has a lot of Asian architecture there. And I would think that Mulan would know all about the Yaguai, but apparently she doesn't because, she has been tracking this thing for weeks, and Belle can just read a passage in a book, and she finds it within minutes.
Mm-hmm.
A passage in a book that's in Mulan's native language.
Yeah. So she ends up saving Belle again when Belle wanders into that town, when she's about to get pushed into a well by Claude and... the other guy that Claude is with. Side note, Claude is also joins the cast of iZombie for one episode.
As Claude?
He plays a security guard during an incident where there's a huge zombie outbreak.
So he played
in
a security
season
guard in
2.
both.
Yeah. So yeah, he's a guard in both shows.
He's typecast.
Yeah.
Sorry, Claude.
Yep. He's also he's been in a bunch of shows, and he is Alex said maybe he's a cousin of one of the producers or a nephew or something. He's not. He's actually a Canadian stuntman who appears in a lot of stuff. He actually did some fighting in mixed martial arts, the MMA. He's been involved in a lot of TV and movies, everything from iRobot to all 3 of the X-Men movies, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2.
You should put those on his resume.
Battlestar Galactica, Eureka, Human Target, Almost Human, Arrow, iZombie, The Magicians, The 100. He's been in a lot of stuff. So Claude makes his way around.
He's one of those actors.
The actor's name is Paul Lazenby. He's not actually an actor. He's the stuntman. So.
But he's one of those actors where they've been in enough stuff where... Because, there is a certain amount of minutes you need to be on screen to join the union. So I think, and a lot of actors do this who aren't not like major actors, but they've been in so many things for short amounts of time on each thing that they've been on, but they've been in so many that they've racked up enough minutes of screen time to be accepted into the union.
Probably how David Anders got his start. But anyway, so they decide that, or Mulan decides that she's gonna pair up with Belle. She'll have Belle track the beast and Mulan kill it. She agrees. However, Mulan's injured. She can't do it herself. So she asks Belle to handle it.
So Mulan, basically, you're worthless in this story.
Yep.
Yeah.
Belle lures the Yaguai into town, douses it in water, and then it starts writing in Chinese. It writes "help me" or "save me," I think actually. But funny
Philip
enough,
knows Chinese.
Funny enough, Belle's able to read Chinese before it's finished being written.
I guess.
Only half of a character was finished out of a 3-character thing.
She's
So,
that good.
yeah, she's that good. There's no way she could.
Someone starts writing like help. If they get to HEL, you're like, you kind of
Yeah,
guess.
but that's not how the Chinese language works.
Not really, but
No,
maybe
you
she read the script and she realized, oh, like this is the part where I'm supposed to help him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
With script languages like that, a whole sentence in English that would be like 12 words long is only going to be 2 or 3 characters. Like it's weird how script languages work like that.
yeah. Anyway, I went to mention the actor who plays Claude. His name is Paul Lazenby. That's
You
that's
said
the
that.
actor. Okay, did I? I didn't remember.
Yeah.
Yes.
I pulled him up on the side. I forgot to close the window after I said that then. And then, so we had Belle use the fairy dust to transform the
Fairy
Yaguai.
dust the fairy dust does anything. It does anything you want it to.
Anything,
It's like a cure-all.
pretty much.
This is where the timeline gets all sorts of weird because we're like, oh, so this was before. This was when was it? This was before he woke, Aurora. So this was before this first time he ever met Mulan, and
Yep.
then because this is when the timeline gets all
It's
jumbled.
before Mulan gets the enchanted sword as well. So I know that was one of the questions that we brought up a couple episodes ago. It still didn't talk about it, but this is before she gets the
No,
sword.
she had the sword. She had that sword in this episode.
What?
But
Yeah.
it might not have been enchanted yet.
We
The
don't
sword
know.
was
It's
a
the
gift
same.
from Philip.
She had the exact same sword.
It could be the same sort, but it just might not be enchanted yet.
Hmm.
So we don't know.
Yeah.
Because you can enchant your own gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like Minecraft.
But we
Enchanted.
find out that Philip was indeed the Yaguai. He was cursed by Maleficent to try to separate him from Aurora. And then Belle kind of unites Mulan and Philip and sets them on their journey to find Aurora.
And it takes you forever. I was
You can
thinking
blame
about
Regina for that.
Maleficent's. Yeah, I was thinking about Maleficent's plan, and it's interesting how they put these two together. But I was thinking about Maleficent's plan in the original movie. So her plan was to have Philip locked up and wait until he's like 80
100. Yeah.
100 years old, and then go and go save Aurora. And I feel like that's a much crueler punishment. Here, I think Maleficent's plan was a bit weaker because she turned him into this beast, and I think she was expecting other people to kill it.
Well, that's what Mulan was going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, that to me is like, I mean, it's a cool image that you turned him into, but like, I don't know, I like your old plan better.
But Belle, she sets off on her own, only to be kidnapped by Claude and Regina. Claude.
It comes
Hashtag Team
full
Claude.
circle.
Yeah. On her way back to Rumpelstiltskin. So. That is that. So, we do end the episode with the outsider coming into town. So we're left to wonder there, what's going on with that. The next episodes that we will be discussing next week, episodes 12 and 13, one of which is called In the Name of the Brother, and this is the second Dr. Frankenstein episode that we get, and I believe the final Dr. Frankenstein episode that we get.
Yep. I think so.
And then the following episode, episode 13, is Tiny's backstory.
Yay!
Yay, Tiny.
With Jack.
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline.
Character
Can't wait
that-
till Tiny finally gets his Storybrooke and he gets to farm his farm.
And then he gets Tiny.
Tiny
Yes.
gets Tiny.
Tiny gets Tiny.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I think that about does it. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Jake, where can the people find you?
You can find me wearing the shit out of this headpiece and all my giggles and gore and monsters of mayhem here on YouTube at Jacob Salazar, or you can find me on Twitter, tweeting me throughout the week, throughout the life at ToNowhereLand. That is TONOWHERELAND. Join the Nowhereland Society.
Excellent. Nikki, where can the people find you?
On Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyYVENOM24.
Rachel, where can the people find you?
You can find me at Twitter at VikingWitch76 and on Twitch at VikingWitch. Hopefully next week I'll be streaming.
Cool. You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM.
Phenomenal.
And you can find us all on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, MySpace, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, games, and movies. Until next week. See you guys later.
Don't get T-Mobile. They're crap.
Stop it. Stop.